Going to get a read now on what's going on with Zacks Large Cap Trader Service from the editor of the service and our chief equity strategist, John Blank, who's here with me. So you and I have been talking on and off about the service throughout this year. As we come up to the end of this year, let's talk about this service from the perspective of people who are considering getting in maybe in the new year. Newcomers to the service.
Newcomers to the service. What you're going to see is, obviously, we've had a great year and with a lot of green stocks, double-digit stocks. So you say, why am I buying all these stocks that are already run up? Well, that's a good point. You get two choices here. One is to ignore that because they're going to keep running up. Stocks that are running up are going to keep running up, and just buy an equal-weighted per version of the portfolio and ignore the returns. That's a good idea, actually, and one thing you can do, and I think is a recommendation. The other thing you can do is just choose the Zacks #1 ranked or Zacks #2 ranked stocks, or where the Zacks industry rank is 50. That confluence of statistics is going to show you the most tradable and highest probability stocks within the portfolio at that time. These things do change, but right now, for example, I have 14 stocks. 7 or 8 of them are 1s or 2s. Probably another 1 or 2 are in the 50 range. You're going to cut out 3 or 4 stocks. If you want to keep a clean play, and that's what the stock portfolio does, that's how to do it.
We talk about a lot of different indicators, a lot of different data for different uses. We talk about the Zacks rank. We talk about the Zacks VGM score, right? Industry rank. How do you use these indicators, these pieces of data in Large Cap Trader?
Right. So the Large Cap Trader has a very, very tight system that is always applied on all of our stocks. Zacks #1 ranked or 2 rank or 3 rank, but certainly 1 or 2 if I can find them. Zacks VGM score of A or B, most likely with an A score of V. A value score of A, because what I like is if it's going to get the earning estimates up, I want to make sure the stock hasn't run up the price already. So I like, if I get a combination of earnings running up and the value being low, then I'm almost completely confident that it's going to keep going. So 1 or 2 on the Zacks score, A or B on the VGM score with emphasis on value, and then the Zacks industry rank. Try to stay in the top 100 or the top 80 out of 265 so that even if it's going to slip every once in a while, we know the industry's hot around it and it'll get re-ranked up, and that the other things that are happening in the industry are strong. So those 3 things are what all stocks will have with a starter in this portfolio and will probably stay as long as those things are still in play. And you should look on and you will see with all 14 stocks, they're A's and B's with VGM.
All right. So sector-wise, industry-wise, U.S. versus non-U.S., what are you thinking?
Right. For this service has more non-U.S. stocks than other services because I understand that and I like that and I think there's some value there. So basically, I'm about 35%, 40% international right now.
Okay.
It's not going to get less than 20. It's not probably going to go over what it is to now. But it's probably going to stay in the 35, 40% range.
And that's a strategy, I'm assuming.
Right, that's a strategy.
Right?
So more non-U.S. growth, more non-U.S. stocks until I see that playing out. So we're going to stay with that pattern, probably still stay with stack stocks, probably still stay overweight international in a portfolio context, which still means having more U.S. than non-U.S., but a bigger weight than most portfolios.
So don't look for the strategy to change, at least going into the new year.
Not in the new year. We have to see something change the dynamics of this market for my thinking that the momentum that we are experiencing is going to change. I just don't see it yet.
So what type of investor is Large Cap Trader more suited for?
Right. So large cap stocks, very conservative, big stocks that you understand and can learn about that are heavily followed and heavily traded. And so these are the things that are the core components of the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, things that you can learn from and are basically more conservative. However, we are way up in this portfolio, 58, 60% a year.
So this
is not a slow-moving portfolio or a low-returning portfolio because the ETF out there using these building blocks, and when the ETF money goes up, it goes into these types of stocks. So don't think this is dull from a returns perspective, but I am not playing with names you don't know, or the names that you don't know in my portfolio are bigger companies that you just simply don't know, and I'm showing you them having these characteristics that I like. So I don't trade very often. I got other things to do with Zacks, and I use what I learned from what I do elsewhere in the service, but I only trade probably once a month, and I do probably 2 or 3 trades when I do.
I have to ask you, we're coming up to the end of a year here, John, going into a new year. You going to be bullish on the market going into the new year?
You know, I am bullish, but I am not. I've got big probability in a neutral year. I'm like a 5% down year. I can see this market going sideways all year under certain circumstances. So I'm bullish, but you got to put a neutral weight at 30, 40% right now. I'm not full-on bullish like I was last year at this time.
Okay, interesting. We'll be back to talk with you more in that new year. In the meantime, don't forget to check on the updates that John writes regarding his trading service, Large Cap Trader. You'll find a lot of information in those updates, very useful information, not only with regard to the portfolio, but all of the trends that he sees going on in the world around him. With John, I'm Terry Ruffalo.